name is Kari Vaupel, and I played Caroline from 2014 to 2018. I live up in the Twin Cities, and so anytime we go down to visit them in the summer, I'd say to my husband, we got to go to Walnut Grove and watch the pageant. I actually saw when I was 10 years old when it was first getting going too, and I remember sitting there on the lawn, and so it became one of my dreams to always be a part of it. And so I auditioned in 2014 and played Caroline for 4 years, which was one of the most wonderful experiences of my life. I was very lucky to have my son play Willie Olson 1 year, and then my daughter was in the show with me 4 years, and then both of my sons and my father-in-law worked on the set crew as well. So it was a family affair, and really, really loved it.
Well, thank you so much for having me. And I just want to say, as I'm listening to these other Carolines talk, and we talk about who Caroline was as a person, having not met the previous ones before me, it's amazing how well-spoken and intelligent and compassionate and thoughtful you all are. And I can see Caroline just in all of you as people. So it's truly an honor to be here. My experience was a little different. I live in the Twin Cities, and so I grew up watching Little House on the Prairie. I was the age that was the show to watch, and I remember watching it every Monday night, and a lot of times with my grandmothers, and my mom said we'd all gather around the television and watch it. So I loved it from a very, very young age, and I grew up in Fargo, and I remember my dad said, we're going to go to Walnut Grove. So it just was so special to me to be 10 and to sit on that hillside and watch the fire scene and the grasshoppers and all of that stuff. And it was just so dear to my heart. That TV show touched my heart. And I've always been in theater and acting, and it's something that I've continued throughout my whole life and want to continue on from this day. And my in-laws lived down in southern Minnesota, and so every time we'd go down there, I'd say, we got to go watch the Laura Ingalls Wilder pageant, and my husband would wonderfully come with me to do that, or if you had the stars come. And I said to him one day, I would just want to be in that. I don't know why, but later I found out it's because of the heart and the soul of the TV show, and then this amazing town of Walnut Grove and what you all did. I remember driving down for the auditions, and I was sitting outside the church, and I called my husband and I said, I can't do this. I don't know anybody here. I don't know what I'm doing. This is going to be such a long drive if I get into this. And he said, yeah, you've wanted to do this your whole life. Get in there and you do this. You find the strength to get in there and do this. And I went in, and from the moment I walked in, everybody was super welcoming and wonderful. And then I was lucky enough to get the part of Caroline and play her for 5 years. Living in the Twin Cities, it was over 2 hours each way to come to practice. And I was able to spend some of the weeks during the 5 weeks of practice down there. But for the most part, I would come back and forth. And it was time, but I loved it so much, and always just ran down there as fast as I could. The first year I did it just myself. My husband said, you have to do this. This is for you. We've had 3 kids. You go do this. And then the second year, I brought my daughter down with me, who absolutely loved it. During my time doing this, my husband became very sick with stage 4 colon cancer, and ultimately passed, died during this time. And so it was a very difficult time for my 3 children and I in our lives. And but everybody just kept saying, you got to keep doing this. You got to keep doing this. And just what I was able to find inside myself from playing the part of Caroline. She went through her own struggles, right? Losing a child, the hardship financially, and just to find the strength and the compassion and the will to go on and speak your truth and support those that love you and to keep going. For me, through the Caroline, I had my therapy, and I found my healing during those years after he passed away at such a very, very young age. So I'll forever be grateful for that. I've always done a lot of acting, and I always want to ask a lot of questions. And the first year, Dan was the director, and I said, you got to tell me about Caroline. How do you want it? What should I do? And he said, she's a strong Scottish woman who supports her husband no matter what. And I thought, okay. And so I tried to play the character the best I could.
But with God's guidance and compassion, we will see a good season. Yes. Yes, everything you say is true. Just so very tired. Well, you must be exhausted as well.
I am. Some days it's hard to go on, but we have to be here for our family and our children. There's always hope. Come on, let's go inside and get some supper.
Supper? What could you have made? There's nothing left.
Ha. Grasshopper pie. What else?
That, and I just had the most amazing experience. I'm somebody who's directed theater and written a lot of theater, and so I don't know if you could call me the kind of the rebel Caroline. After that, you could ask the directors. But after that, I thought, what if we change the scene a little bit? What if we add this? What if we like change these lines? What if and Errol, I just remember he's such a sweetheart, but he just look at me and shake his head all the time. Like, what are you doing, honey? But it was just fun. The directors were amazing, just as far as let's try this, Kari. This works. And let's try this. No, it doesn't work, but their openness to just kind of try it, because there were times that I felt like, especially during like Blind Mary, would Caroline do this? Would she do more? She's so strong. She's so, almost like a mother bear, protects her kids, right? But she loves this man and she's going to do anything that he wants him to do. So I'm so appreciative just as an actor that they let me try things and change things, and some things worked and some things did not, for sure. But just to be open for that, I thought was amazing. And for someone who came in not from the town and didn't know anybody, people were so amazing. And a lot of my great memories are in the change room, because Caroline had these fast changes. But I remember Julie being Mrs. Olson running in, and she's covered with that shaving cream, and she's like, oh my gosh, okay, I got to get changed to the next stuff, and just kind of laughing with that. And I think the joy for doing it for 5 years and having different sets of children for many of those years, it was a challenge as an actress to learn how those children acted and how to help them, right? How do I help them get through these scenes? And they'd always have suggestions for me. They'd speak right up, and you should do it this way and you should do it that way. And so even though it was the same part year after year, I just felt a challenge each year on how to do the part and how to bring the scenes to life.
Last night. Oh no, Charles was home by 8:30. Charles was home. Hi. Well, we had no idea things got done so quickly. Charles said it was a normal meeting. They didn't get a thing done.
It also spurred in me. I always had done a lot of acting and then went into directing, but by getting back into acting with the Laura Ingalls Wilder pageant, I found my passion again. And then after losing my husband, it has just become a great passion for me, and it brings me so much joy, and it's helped me like push myself in doing what I didn't know if I could ever do in my life as far as theater. And now as I'm getting older, my kids are going to head off to college. It's something that I want to very much pursue. I think a couple of the hardest scenes, the one with fire is always hard, just because there's so many lines and they're going so quickly, and we're moving water back and forth, and will the fire come up? And
What's your day? Those sparks don't catch. Get your dresses wet so they don't catch fire.
Caroline, I seen the fire from my barn. I thought your house was already lost.
Ellen, the girls are holding back the flame. We need more water. Mary, your dress. My dresses up there. Help me.
And we just all had to be on our toes just to make sure that was done well, and it's such an impactful scene in the show. So, and then also something that was so important to me was the ending. I wanted people to know, we all live in certain places in our lives, or have certain experiences, and how much it impacts us for our entire life. So Caroline's last lines there, since she ends the show, I think that was left over when she was the narrator. I just want people to take away, like, you didn't live in the 1800s, right? You may not live in this small town, because many people come from different countries and different cities, but we've all had experiences where we've suffered or lost or struggled and stuck together and loved each other. And when you leave that town, you're going on to the next thing, and it's okay. You take what you've learned and gone from there. So I tried really hard to make that something that people could take with them. And lastly, I told people I'm in this play in Walnut Grove, and people in the cities were like, "What are you doing? What are you talking about?" And why don't you just be in plays up in the cities? And I said, you have no idea, one, what an amazing city this is of these people that put on. I mean, as soon as the television show went on the air, they thought this is an amazing story that people are listening to. People love survival and love, and we're going to put this on. And what they did, and a huge, huge thank to Bill, who was so instrumental in all of this. I mean, the sets and the costumes, and keeping true to what the story is going to be and what we want to tell to people, and also changing and growing as times change, right? They're going to do a whole new script this summer and try something completely new. And I just think that is absolutely incredible. And I think people that aren't from that area, you are in for a complete, utter joy just to drive down there from the cities or wherever else you live, and to see this incredible, incredible production put on by people that love each other and care for each other and work night and day. And it's their passion to keep this story in our American history alive, and especially in Minnesota history alive. And I just think it's absolutely incredible. So if you have any chance to do it every summer, you absolutely, absolutely need to go, and for yourself and for your entire family. So I thank you for having me here today, and from the bottom of my heart, all that you gave to me. Thank you. One more thing to all the people that want to come down in the summer to see it. Not only is there a wonderful pageant, but there's an incredible museum in town that has artifacts from Laura and her family, and from the Times, and also from the TV show that you can see, and wonderful shops in town of Walnut Grove. You can go to Nellie's restaurant to eat, and it is a wonderful all-day affair. And then come to the pageant as the sun is setting and the covered wagon comes in from the field. And so it's just a wonderful, wonderful summer opportunity for families to go see. You've got to go.